Yeah, obviously disappointing outcome. As I told the team in the locker room, that's a really good team, and we knew that all week. They had 4 losses, but as you watch the film, it's a good football team. It's a Clemson football team that, you know, the record doesn't reflect how good of a team that is. But when you play a good team like that, there's 3 or 4 plays in that game that if you turn the ball over, you muff a punt and turn the ball over to their offense, they end up creating an outcome that's an eight-point loss. And so that's the reality of it. 2 good teams, and there's plays in the game that we didn't finish the way we needed to finish those plays that result in the outcome. We got to be better on third down, I think, on both sides of the ball. First half defensively, but on offense, we got to be better on third down. And again, we got to get some things fixed. So I'll open up for questions.
Go ahead, raise your hand. Be loud. Go ahead.
Coach, did you, offensively, did you think this would be like an Ohio State approach that you took a few weeks ago? They were missing the starting defensive end, starting safety in the corner. Did you think you could just kind of grind it out?
I thought there's some schematic things we could do to create some success on the ground. We didn't want to approach this thing and say we're just going to run the ball and huddle and keep the ball away from them. We wanted to be able to throw some balls and throw some shots, but they did a good job of defending the throws that we obviously put up. And then, the pick six kind of spooks you, right? It spooks you. It spooks the quarterback a little bit and makes you say, okay, let's go back to the run game a little bit. But no, we didn't. It was a Clemson approach. It's not an Ohio State approach. No, he ran the ball extremely hard, and we did not do a good job of tackling him on first contact, and that's something that surprised me. I thought our defense on first contact would be able to make those tackles, but he did a good job of breaking some tackles and running the ball extremely hard. Yeah, they got a good defense. It's a top 10 defense that's extremely talented. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. They're covering well. They stopped the run when we were trying to commit to the run game. They made adjustments. It's a good defense. And I wish I could say it's just 1 or 2 things, but on third down, we weren't able to convert. And I think a lot has to do with the pressure they were getting, but also we weren't able to get open. And we didn't have, we got to continue to improve on our throws. We got to put the ball exactly where it's supposed to be. And so there's a whole bunch of people that is included with not having success that we're looking for in the second half.
All the way on the left.
We talk often about having this team help it reach its full potential. I think anybody probably expects you guys to be here today with 3 losses. How do you help it reach its full potential the rest of the way? What is this team's full potential?
I think as I challenge the team, each individual has to look at themselves and say, okay, why am I in this position I'm in? And what do I have to do to find a way to improve, right? That's the message, is that every individual, every coach, and every player in that locker room has to own where we're at and what we got to do to improve. So that's schematically, as an individual, and then we got to go back to work. Like, there's no magic formula to improve, right? There's no magic formula. It's hard work, and that's the only thing we know how to do, but it starts with owning where you're at and finding a better way to do what we do.
Samson, right in front.
It really is not all on the quarterback, but like Sam Hartman looks in this game, what does he need to hold, and what do you need from him to be better?
I got to look. I got to watch film. Obviously, we can't throw a pick six, right? And that you can't do that, And I know he knows that. Now, he did some really, really good things, extending plays with his legs and running for first downs and touchdowns. But, the biggest thing we can't do is turn the ball over. We know we have to take care of the football. And we one of our things going into this game was we had to beat them in the turnover margin, and we didn't do that today.
Mike Berdino.
What's going on in center? After you get down to your 3rd string center, can you talk about what Ashton Craig, the challenge of that, and how he handled it, and was Christopher an ankle, or what was that?
Yeah, I think it was an ankle. I just know he was out. You know, Ashton did a great job filling in, you know, the third center. I haven't watched the film. I don't know what the result of some of the pressure was, but for him to come in and you know, to be the third center, I'm happy and pleased with him being able to do that.
On the right, Jack Soul.
Just got to go back to work. You got to, you know, own where we're at. So as I just said, own it. We're, what are we, 7-3 right now. And we got 2 opportunities to go out there and go compete. And so we got to improve in these next 2 weeks. We got to find a way to improve as a football team, schematically and as individuals. And so we just have to go back to practice, go back to work, and figure out a way to make sure that we improve as a team so we can obviously get the outcome that we want.
Our last one's going to be Allison Hayes, comparing your left. Okay, go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead.
You said a couple times that obviously you want this team to win. You got to understand where it's at. Where is this football team at in 7-3?
We haven't reached our full potential, right? And that, you know, today's outcome is disappointing. But as I told them, we got to figure out why. Like, what happened on those 3 or 4 plays that, to me, you know, you talk about, if you look at 2 plays, a pick 6 and then the muff punt, that's 10 points, right? And it's never, you don't ever want to point your finger at just 1 or 2 individuals or a certain plays, but that's the difference in winning and losing in this game, right? You're talking about 2 plays resulted in 10 points for them. We can't do those things. So we got to make sure that, I still believe in cause and effect. It's not luck. We didn't just muff the punt because we're unlucky. We didn't throw a pick 6 because we're unlucky. We got to figure out why that happened and how do we fix it.
You want to start up? Go ahead.
Jack, what was Clemson able to do to sort of establish the running game?
Yeah, I mean, they were just physical up front, you know, doing simple run schemes, but able to do it well and execute well. And, you know, we just felt like we couldn't get our cleats in the ground early on. One of the keys to the game was just starting fast, and certainly we didn't do that. Towards the end of the game, you know, we felt pretty positive what we were able to do, but obviously a little too late.
Next. Go ahead.
In the second half with the offense, your offense is struggling a little bit. Like, what kind of pressure does that put on a defense where it's like you're taking them over at midfield all second half?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really focus on what's going on the other side of the ball. When you're a veteran-led group like we are, you know, we're very fortunate to have a lot of leaders, and we're not focused on that. We're internally motivated, right? We don't care what the circumstances going out on the field. We know that we got to go out there and do our job day in, day out, every snap. So, you know, at the end of the day, like most of the time you're not even watching that much because you're on the sideline, you know, getting coaching points, talking to each other. And so, you know, when it's our time to go on the field, we got to perform, and that's what we're most concerned about.
Tyler Walker, go ahead.
Clemson was missing its top tackle, Robinson played very well. It looks like the offensive line was pretty easy. How tough was it to kind of go against those guys when they're moving like they were?
Yeah, I mean, Seven's a big dude. He runs hard. We knew that like we were gonna have to run our feet and have to tackle him and you know, bring our weight behind ourselves. And so the first couple times, you know, we didn't quite do that, and his runs were able to bleed. I mean, he was just running hard, so we gotta, you know, make sure that we can wrap up and get him down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Heading into the bye week, how do you know, as leaders and as rebels, keep this team together and move forward?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Freeman used the word anti-fragile. So it means you get stronger through adversity. It really challenged the leaders through this off. You know, essentially we're going 2 weeks where we got to deal with this loss. And you challenge the leaders to lead this program, make sure, you know, we're pushing each other on every phase, whether, you know, that's finding one thing to do better on the field, off the field, in the film room, whatever it may be. So really just, you know, challenging leaders to be anti-fragile and push this program forward.
All right, thanks, Jack. Go ahead, Alex, start us off.
Same in the second half, starting with your backs to the goal line so often. What were they doing up front that was kind of slowing down your passing game? Kind of confusing up front, the submits and everything. There was a good deal of pressure in the second half that wasn't there in the first.
I mean, I think I would just, not even to answer your question, more of a statement. I mean, if you guys want to blame, put anything on anyone, put it on me. I mean, I played very poor today. Didn't play well enough to be a winning quarterback, to be a winning football team. All the different situations, scenarios that we were in today is partly my doing, and really all my doing. I just didn't execute well enough. So if you want to, mention people on Twitter, you want to blame OCs, you want to blame Coach Freeman, blame me. I'm big enough and man enough to admit that I didn't play up to the standard that this team deserves, this fan base, this university deserves, and that's the way it goes. That's the Saturdays of college football, and I'm going to stick my head up high that the fact that happened, and we're going to bounce back. And the only thing I can give back to this program is, the last 2 games, give everything I have, and just play better. We had ample opportunities to score. We had ample opportunities to make plays, and frankly, I just didn't make them. And the guys around me were busting their butts. Guys stepped up. People got hurt, and it wasn't good enough for me and for myself to go out there and play like I played, and that ended up in a loss.
The pick six in the first half, how did you read that out? How did Clemson play and just kind of go through that?
Yeah, the guy got underneath the play and underneath the pass, and I shouldn't have thrown it, and just try to force one in there, especially backed up. You can't do it, and I did it. And again, it goes back to just not playing well enough, not executing the calls that needed to be called. And kid made a good play and got underneath the route, and he took it the other way.
Same thing right here.
Sam, that first half, you guys wound up with field goals on some drives that looked like they were headed for touchdowns. How big a factor was that?
It was huge, and again, that goes down to execution. A one-score game at the end of the day is all about execution, and I didn't do it personally well enough. We were down there. We had a guy, Rico was wide open on one of the rollouts, and I didn't throw it. It was a little late to it, I guess, and just didn't make plays when they needed to be made. And then later in that play, JG's open in the end zone and just overthrew him. I mean, it's just unacceptable, honestly. And again, I say you want to blame somebody, you want to tweet at somebody, tweet at me. I deserve it.
Right in front, Tom.
Easy to say you guys had opportunities in the second half. They didn't go all the time. Pretty much inside your own 10-yard line every single time. What kind of effect did that have on the offense? Not just the quarterback, the entire offensive operation when you're backed up like that?
It's the field's the same length, and you're going to have to drive those drives. And our defense kept them out of the end zone, kept them out of scoring position. When we didn't give them any help all game. We haven't given them all help really in the past couple of games. And again, it just comes back to bite us, and we don't execute as an offense, and I don't execute as a quarterback.
Last call, questions? Go ahead, Mike.
Having to switch to stopping that, what do you say about what Craig did in a very tough spot?
Incredible. I mean, that goes back to what I said. Guys stepped up, people got hurt, and didn't flinch. And I was really proud of the effort and the intensity that guys played with. And again, it falls back on the quarterback when you don't score in the red zone, when you have turnovers. You point at me when you want to blame somebody, you want to rant about somebody.